Your heartbeat of solid gold.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and drop in the Discord chat that you are on for tonight's Just Run call. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing is going to be one for the ages. I hope you are ready to receive. You know, I was just talking to some members on the team, and one member in particular. You know what he said to me? He said, you know, I almost gave up. He said, I almost gave up. He said, but I had been, over the last few months, infused with so much belief. I have been exposed to so much powerful information. I have seen so much success. I have experienced so much that I came to a point where I understood there was nowhere to go but forward. And in the last 72 hours, he's had 3 consecutive 3-figure days in the market. You see, some things you just gotta outlast. Some things you just gotta keep moving forward for. Some things you gotta really see how bad you want it. And I want you to understand that you are in an environment to win. This is an environment that's going to feed your faith, feed your belief. And I don't know what it's going to take, but you're going to have to get really excited about your future, right? You're going to have to get excited about your future and then take the steps in the present to make that future a reality. Now, there's something that happens when you get in an environment where everybody around you is elevated, where the people who you see on a daily basis posting about how much money they're making, and you see those individuals dropping, welcome to the team, new people coming into the organization. You gotta get excited and simply make the decision to follow the instructions that the successful people are giving you. And this person that you're about to hear from, my wife and I were blessed to meet him 4 years ago because of a Facebook message. This one relationship has taken my wife and I to new levels financially. This one relationship, because of the information that he shared with me and my wife, has put us in a position to elevate higher than we've ever elevated in the past. Because we choose to listen to his voice, because we were humble enough to say, you know what? I'm going to do everything he tells me to do. My life went to the next level. You see, success is real simple. Success is not about figuring it out, right? And creating a success story. That's not what success is all about. You know what success is about? Success is about identifying a voice that you trust and simply making the decision to do every single thing they tell you to do, no matter how long it takes, until you get results, and then look for the next instruction. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that the individual you're about to speak from has retired his mother, his father, his grandmother, and himself before the age of 30. Not only does he know what he's doing when it comes to success and influencing people and helping people get to the next level, helping people become 6-figure income earners, right? Not only does he know how to do that, but he also is a great trader as well. And he's responsible for sending trades that have caught thousands of pips in one day. He's responsible for sending trades that have caught 10,000 pips in 48 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, this one relationship can change everything about your financial future. So I suggest you go ahead and have your pen and paper ready to go. I suggest you take notes. I suggest not only do you write down what you hear, but you go back, review what you wrote, and execute it in your everyday life. I'm going to step out of the way of greatness. I want to bring up my brother from another mother, my mentor, my friend, Mr. Top 5 Lifestyle, Parris Simmons. Can you hear me, my brother?
Loud and clearly, my brother. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, my friend. The floor is yours.
Awesome, awesome. Let's drop some C25s in the chat for my guy, Mr. Charles Dyson, soon to be Chairman 25. Definitely super grateful to be connected to you, my brother. And I'm excited for the blessings that are coming your way. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a phenomenal call. If your organization, anybody in your organization is not on this call, whether they're IBO or customer, you want to go ahead and get them on this call. Let me turn this off. Get them on this call. This is going to be information that changed my life. Well, what's going to change yours as well, but more importantly, change your business and your organization. So for those who may be new to the call, my name is Parris Simmons. I'm a Chairman 10 inside this organization. Been in this company for the last 3-ish years. One of the founders of the Retired in 365 movement. And over the next 90 days, about 83 or 4 now, we're looking to impact 25,000 lives. And if you're on this call, you definitely want to play a part in that. But today, this is IBO talk. You know, this is chairman talk. This is for those who really want to earn big residuals, who really want to have an organization growing, who really want to take this thing to the next level. So I got a few questions to start this call off. And the first question is, what is essential to grow an organization exponentially, right? Go ahead and let me know in the chat, what is essential to grow an organization exponentially in your opinion? I want to see. So I see we got exposure, right? And this is a safe zone. Whatever you feel, just let me know. Momentum, right? Keep them going. Tab fruiting. Okay. Awesome. We're talking about exponential growth because as a leader, as a leader developer, better yet, you want to have exponential growth in your organization, right? Now, my second question is, what is essential to keep an organization running and profitable? And when I say an organization, I'm not just talking about network marketing, right? I'm talking about the Apples of the world. I'm talking about your NBA teams. I'm talking about your sports teams. I'm talking about your large corporations or organization in general, right? What is essential to keep an organization, right, running and profitable? I see we got consistency. I see we got systems. I see we got people, right? Right? What else? Right? Communication. Okay. Big one. Right? And lastly, right, casting, video, okay, and execution, innovation. Lastly, what is essential to bring positive change in an organization, right? Because not all change is good, not all change is positive, but what believe, right? What is essential? I see we got loyalty and trust to bringing positive change in an organization, okay? Again, if you haven't eliminated all distractions, you might want to do so because we're about to take it somewhere else on this training. Your entire team is going to need to hear this live. This is going to be the information that I promise you is going to change your life. So when I look at all those answers, when I look at the belief, when I look at the communication, when I look at the people, when I look at the systems, the answers that were given, look, all these answers are right answers, right? But the one key thing, right, which is the answer to all of that, is leadership. Okay. Systems come from what? Come from leaders. Momentum comes from leaders. Belief development comes from leaders, right? And your success is going to rise or fall. The success of a Chick-fil-A, right, in my opinion, in terms of leadership, is one of the best organizations, is corporations in the entire world, right, from top to bottom. But that's built on what? Leadership, okay? And how far you go in this business, how much success you have in your organization is going to be predicated on your leadership. Let's imagine this. Let's say you went to war, right, with the Taliban, right? And overnight, they took out 1,000 of your foot soldiers. But when you woke up, you had 5 generals. How long would it take you to rebuild an army, right? I need you to follow me. Let's reverse that. Let's say you went to sleep, right? And your 5 generals were taken out, but you had 1,000 foot soldiers left. Which of the 2 equations would you rather have, right? If I'm asking myself, I would rather have the 5 generals. Why? Because I have 5 leaders And I know the success of any organization, of anything I'm running, of anything I'm growing, of anything I'm building is going to be solely dependent on the level of leadership I have in my organization, right? If you're looking to grow an organization, you have to become fixed, right? Fixed on actually growing leaders. And when I look at people like David Imonitie, right? Some may say, why does he talk about the same thing all the time? You see, he understands this, right? He spends all the time talking on belief, talking on influence, right? The same things over and over again, because the most important thing in any business is leadership, right? And I want you all to write this down. The greatest leaders are not those people who do the greatest things, right? The greatest leaders are those who can empower others to do great things, right? Drop a 7 for me in the chat if you're still following. I'm going to make sure everybody can hear me clearly, because you all need this information. The greatest leaders are those who can empower others to do great things, right? And the fact of the matter is, every single person at some point in time will become a leader. So what am I going to talk about on today? I'm going to be talking about, right, the importance of empowering people, because that's the key to growing your organization. Now, this training is going to have several parts. This first part is going to be for people who are already in leadership positions. You know, so many times we get on calls, right, and some may feel, oh, we're talking to the mentee, right? And the benefit of being a resplendent, superlative mentee, right? And that is key. But today I need to talk to the leaders, right? So this first part is for the leaders. This second part and on is for anybody. But all parts are important. You want to take notes from front to back, because why? Like I just said, at some point in time in your life, you will be a leader. Everybody on this call, right? You can't negate that. Right. And so when I look at this business, right, this business is about empowerment. OK, it's more than just teaching people. It's more than just training people. It's more than just giving people the proper skill set, the proper mindset for them to grow. No, you got to empower these people to be more than they can be, to see themselves as more than they can ever see. Right. A leader, OK, does not take on the workload for everybody. Right? They don't take on the workload for everybody, but they delegate the work to those they have empowered. Those who are not delegating work is because they haven't empowered anybody. Okay. And when I look at this topic today, I thought it was so critical, but because so oftentimes a lot of people feel stuck in their business. Parris, I'm doing the right things. I'm on the trainings. I'm even hosting a training call or two for my team, but you got to empower people to the point where you can go ahead and give some type of authority so they can go ahead and grow, right? And you can't pass the baton if you haven't empowered somebody. If I'm on the relay, I can't give the baton to somebody who hasn't been equipped to run that next leg of the race, right? I can't give the responsibility to somebody else to finish, right, what we came there to do until they're empowered and equipped to do so, right? So let's talk about why people do not empower people in business, right? Number one is they have a lack of confidence in the people they are actually leading. This is critical, right? So when I look at that, a lot of people, they don't empower their organization. They don't empower those they're working with. And it's because they have a lack of belief in who they're working with. Well, who does that problem lie with? It doesn't lie with the people that they're empowering, right? It lies with the leader. To my leaders on this call who I'm talking to, if you see yourself in that position, it lies with you, right? It's your responsibility to do the empowering, and you can only empower somebody that you have confidence in, right? Number two, a main reason why people don't empower people is because they have, I can do it all myself. I can do it the best complex. Listen, as the leader, you got to give people room to grow. You got to give people room to spread their wings. You got to give people room to actually make mistakes, even if you can do it the best. Even if you can do it the best, because I look at it like this. Let's just say I felt I was the best presenter. I felt I was the best trainer, right? I would hinder myself if I didn't let anybody else do a presentation, if I didn't let anybody else do a training, if you're not letting anybody else do anything in your business, all because you feel like you're the best. Now, at the end, I'm going to talk about who to and who not to empower. So I don't want anybody to get this confused. This isn't for everybody, right? And I'll talk about who you need to be empowering in your business. But this is why a lot of people fail. This is why a lot of people don't really take this thing to the next level in growing, is because they're not really, one, having the confidence in people, but two, they feel like they're the best, right? They're the best, so they should do it, right? Number three, a lot of reasons why people don't empower people is because they feel like they don't have anybody that they can empower. If you want to create leaders, you delegate authority, okay? If you want to create followers, you give them tasks, okay? If you feel like you have nobody, right? Nobody that you can empower, right? Nobody that can take on that role of empowerment, well, you got to identify, listen, you're not in a leadership building position in your business. And this is what happens, right? If you're not creating leaders, you're creating followers, right? And if you're creating followers, what's going to happen? You're only going to attract followers into your business. I need y'all to follow me. If you're creating leaders, right? Some people are like, Parris, listen, why aren't leaders growing into my business? Well, who are you developing? It's simple. You want an organization full of leaders, you got to do what? Create leaders. Because if you create followers, that's all you're going to have. And you don't want 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 20 generations of straight followers, because that's addition. That's not multiplication. And the only way we can really run this thing is through multiplication. Leaders, they multiply, right? Leaders, they multiply, right? Followers, they add, right? They may add 5 people to the business, right? A leader can add 5, can add 6, can add 7, and multiply that to 20, to 30, to 40, right? Leaders are always in the business of recreating leaders, right? And then lastly, the reason why a lot of people don't empower other leaders is because they're ignorant to the fact that that's what we're in the business of doing. Very few people actually really understand that, right? That this is what we're in the business of doing. We're trying to create a group of people, right? You want to write this down. Your goal is to create a group of people that have a group of people who follow them, okay? I'm looking to develop people who have other people following them. Listen, they don't always have to follow me, right? You'll hear from me on the Just Run calls. You may hear from me on the Believe Bigger Faster call, right? But my goal as a leader is to empower others so that when they get in front of their audience, their team is following them. Is this making sense to somebody? Right? Is this making sense to somebody? Because you have to have all these components if you really want to win big in this thing. If you really want to go chairman and beyond, if you really want to rank up, if you really want to have those residuals hitting for my Bitcoin people tonight or tomorrow, but for my people getting paid by Paylocious, Pay Quicker, well, whatever it's called on Friday, right? This is very key, right? Right? This is very key, right? And so when we look at being in a position to empower, one, you got to get results, because your results are your credibility. And until you have the results, right? Until you have that credibility, right? You will not have the respect of your organization, right? If you don't remember anything that I've said today, that is one of the most important things to remember, right? I'm going to say that again. You have to before you're even able to empower people, right? For my people, like I said, this first part is for leaders, right? Leaders on this call, which means you've gotten some type of results. To my people listening who want to get to that point, in order to build credibility, you have to have results, right? You have to have results. Simple. And until you have the results, until you have that credibility, you cannot have the respect needed to take this thing to the next level for you and your organization, right? Because respect comes from achieving success, right? And earning influence. Influence is earned. Leadership is what? It's influence. What is influence? Skills and growth, right? I'll get to that a little bit later. But in order to have influence, you got to earn it. How do I earn it, Parris? By achieving success. Parris, I don't have to influence my business. Okay, go out and win. Simple. I mean, it's really that simple, right? It's really that simple, right? And so in order to be able to empower people, the first thing that you need is you have to have respect, right? If people respect you, if they don't respect you, they will not follow you. I don't care how it is, right? If they respect you and they don't like you, they're going to follow you as long as they can until they find another voice to follow, right? And if people just like you, right? If people just like you, they will be your friends, but they won't follow you. You want to get people to move in your business, you got to understand that sequence of events, right? If people respect you, right? If they don't respect you, they're not gonna follow you. Parris, my team is around. They're getting on calls. They're doing this and that, right? But for whatever reason, they're not following me. Well, it's a certain level of respect that has to grow. Rank up. The way your organization looks at you is gonna be completely different. I promise you that, right? I promise you that. I promise you that, right? And outward success is going to give you that level of success and respect, better yet, and credibility, right? But the inner success is going to be one of the most important things, because that's going to be what fills you up to be able to pour into other people. So you want to have the utmost respect. One, have outward success, have results, have the rank ups, have the people coming into the business, be winning personally, but then have that inward success. So anytime you get on calls, anytime throughout the week, you can pour into people. Why am I always doing these calls? Why do I always have content? Why do I always have training, right? Whether I'm in my house in Atlanta or I'm on the road traveling, how am I always able to just pour? Whether it's a conversation that I'm having with somebody, it's because I keep filling myself up. I keep focusing on the inward success, right? This is very critical, the inward success, because if you don't have that inward success, that inward development growing, you can't pour into other people, and outward success will get you but so far, right? Leaders are always learning, right? They're constantly looking for more ways to grow. Like I said, leadership is what? It's influence. And influence is what? Skills plus growth, right? So my skill set is going to do what? My skill set is going to bring me the outward results, right? The skill set is going to bring me the rank ups, the personals, right? It's going to bring me the things that I need. The inward success is going to bring me the growth that I need to keep this thing going, right? Well, Parris, you know what? I encourage people all the time to do their own trainings for their organization. I told all my leaders to do that weekly, every single week, right? Well, Parris, you know, we just got so much stuff on the schedule. Let me tell you this. I have a schedule outside of this organization that I'm present to every single week, right? Every single week. My mentor does his own Believe Bigger, Faster calls, right? I'm on those in addition to what I'm doing this week. Why? So I can keep filling myself up, right? So I can keep filling up the inside, so I can keep that inner success going, so I can continue pouring into other people, right? Number two is the relationships. You got to be able to put people before yourself, right? So how do you get in a position where you can empower somebody? One, you got to have relationships with people, right? You can impact people only once you're close to them. Follow me. You can impact people only once you're close to them, right? And you can only get close to them how? By becoming their friend, right? Now, this doesn't mean you stop being their mentor, because a mentor would do what? They're going to sacrifice the friendship for success, right? A friend will sacrifice the success for the friendship, right? So even though you're developing the friendship, you don't negate the mentorship, but you got to get close to impact somebody. You want people to move, you get the results, you get the respect, but you get close to them so you can impact them in a way so they can follow, right? In a way so they can follow, right? And when I talk about relationships, the ships are going to be what carry you, right? The people, somebody said at the beginning when I'm asking those questions, we're people, allows businesses to grow exponentially. The people are going to be what allows this thing to grow tenfold, right? What allows this thing to grow exponentially. Right? What allows this thing to continue being consistent and profitable. My goal is to make sure that you're what? You're winning, you're consistent and profitable. When we talk about trading, we're talking about what? Consistent and profitable. Drop a blue face code emoji for me in the chat if you've made any money this week, right? Any money this week, right? If you've done it once, my goal for what? Is consistent and profitable for you. Consistent and profitable. Right? The relationship is also important, because when you have a relationship with somebody, you can edify them better, right? One thing my leaders will tell you is when I'm in front of their people, I don't really like to talk like that. Sometimes they'll say, Parris, do you want to come in the floor and say nothing? I'll send them a message privately. No, I don't, right? Because my goal is what? To edify the voice that is there, right? It'll be cool if we can talk. It'll be cool if we know each other. That's cool, right? But the number one goal as a leader, right? Follow me. For your organization, when you're in front, if your organization brings you in front of their team, your goal is to empower the person that brought you there. So when you leave, they can follow them. Because if you want this thing to grow, you're trying to do what? Have a group of people who have people who follow them, right? So if I show up in markets, if I show up on calls, I'm not saying too much. right? Unless I'm asked to say something, right? It's been times I've been on a call with Charles, right? They'll ask, yo, you want to say anything? I don't, right? I did my edification of Charles. Now who is the person they need to follow? Charles, right? Have that relationship so you're not too busy to be in the front and be in the spotlight, but so they can grow, so they can build independently of you, right? So they can grow, so they can build independently of you, right? Number 3, you have to create an environment of empowerment. This is critical, right? You got to create an environment of empowerment that embraces people's potential. I hope y'all are following me, because I promise you, this training will blow your organization up if you start putting in the work immediately, right? As a leader, you got to see people further, right? You got to be able to see more, and you got to be able to see before the people that you are leading. You got to be able to see further. You got to be able to see more. You got to be able to see before the people that you are leading. I remember 2017. I called Charles Dyson. I say, Charles, I got this dude by the name of Javon Hutchinson. I said, when it clicks, he's going to be a star. I said, he's going to be a star, Charles. At the very beginning, he's going to be a star, right? Javon may have gotten started. I think he got started locked in the position. Years passed. We go to, it's a little before what? I think London last year, maybe a few months before that. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to do this, right? That entire time, though, I didn't stop seeing further. I didn't stop seeing more, right? Or before he actually saw it. You see, how people see Javon today, I saw in 2017. Are you doing that same thing for your organization, right? Because it's real easy to have somebody come in, oh, they're not serious. Oh, they didn't pay their auditorship. Javon didn't pay his auditorship the whole time. That was cool, right? Now he's about to be what? The next Platinum 5,000 in the organization, right? I didn't stop seeing him for what he could be, because what, as an empower, you got to do what? Create an environment, right, that embraces people's potential. That's critical. That embraces people's potential, right? Some people are not going to see it until you see it for them. I wonder what would have happened if I didn't start, if I stopped speaking life. Oh, I'm talking about Javon specifically, because that was somebody I called early. I wonder how things would be if I would have stopped on what I was saying, if I would have stopped seeing that vision. I wonder how things would have progressed the next 2 years if I would have stopped being consistent, stop showing up, stop following in. It's some people right now that people are missing out on. Whoa, they're not serious. No, right? No. Maybe you need to do what? Gain more credibility so you can get more respect. And to do that, you got to do what? Get results. It's simple. And once people actually understand this thing, then their business will grow. When people actually understand this thing, then they'll actually win, right? Because an empowering environment gives others the freedom, right? A person can only fly and soar, right, to the skies, into the clouds, once they're free to do so. When you restrict somebody's wings in your organization, when you restrict somebody in your business, right, what are you doing? You're not only cutting off their ability to fly, but if they're not flying, then what do you have to do? You have to fly for them so their organization can still grow. That's too much. That's too much, right? That's entirely too much. I can go to sleep peacefully at night because I know what? Charles Dyson is in control of his own organization. Jaleesa Yancey, she's in control of her organization. Stevenson Lindor, he's in control of his organization, right? Megan Raquel, she's in control of her organization, right? With or without me, right? This is very critical. This is very critical, right? In the Bible, Jesus told his disciples, you all are going to go on to do greater works than me. What is that? That's a phrase of empowerment, ladies and gentlemen. A phrase of empowerment. You got to look at your organization. You got to look at the people that you're building and say, hey, am I empowering these people, right? Am I giving them room to make mistakes? Are you cutting somebody off when they're doing an edification wrong? Like, no, that's not how you do it. No, let them make the mistakes. Let them grow. And if they're not doing it right, teach them how to do it. Right? You get people doing presentations, and it kills me when I watch leaders, right? in the company, right, who joke their organization, right, off of a bad presentation or something they're doing wrong. Teach them how to grow. It's simple. Empower them so they can believe, right? But don't take away their identity in the process. You know, it's a season for building. It's a season for breaking. You got to have an even balance to it. I'm sure my presentation wasn't the best. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure I sounded horrible, right? I can't remember. I'm sure Charles sounded horrible. I don't remember what Stevenson sounded like. I'm sure he sounded. I'm sure we all was busted. To be honest, I'm sure it was trash, right? But we had to have that freedom to grow. You got to do the same thing because you don't want to imprison people, right? You do not want to imprison anybody, right? An environment that embraces potential, right? That fosters growth is what? One that encourages collaboration. Okay? Because collaboration beats what? Competition. What else do you want to do? You want to reward production. Reward production. Why am I having this $5,000 giveaway? $3,000 to the next 3 chairmen, right? $2,000 collectively to the next 4 platinum 5,000s. Why? Because we're rewarding production, right? We've had team meetups that certain ranks were able to go. Why? Because we're rewarding production. Why is the company giving away $100,000 to the company? Because they're rewarding production, right? It's very simple. It's very simple because whatever gets rewarded will get repeated. Make sure you jot that down. Whatever gets rewarded will get repeated. Well, Parris, I don't have any base to reward people. Get results, then you will. Simple. I wanted money to reward people, so what do? I ranked up. I take it out of my earnings. I give it to them. Simple, right? Because I know what's rewarded will get repeated, right? And lastly, I'm going to talk about who you empower because this is critical. You don't empower everybody, right? Everybody gets love, but not everybody gets access. That's key. Everybody gets love. Everybody is loved on. Everybody is respected, right? You don't ever disrespect anybody, but not everybody gets access to you, right? And if you want to get access, if you want to get poured into by your leaders, if you want to be seen, one, you got to get to the top 20%. How do you even get in a place to where you can do that? You got to become a person of high potential. And there are a few things, some refer to them as the 5-6 G's, right, of leadership, right? But there are a few things that you have to have in order to be seen as a person who can get access. Number one, you have to be grounded, right? Well, Parris, what does grounded mean, right? You have to have humility. You got to be teachable. You got to be coachable. And teachable and coachable comes in 8 different stages. And you want to write every single last one of these down because as a leader, I know with anybody I deal with what stage they're on, right? And until you hit a certain stage, you won't get access. You won't get access, right? For majority of the leaders, they're not going to give you access until you hit a certain stage, right? The first stage of teachable and coachable, right, is they do not seek advice, okay? Stage number 1 is they won't seek advice. They won't ask questions. They're not really seeking anything that's going to help them grow. Number 2 is they don't want advice, right? They don't want advice, right? They're messing up, right? But they don't want the advice to grow and go further, right? Everybody has dealt with those people, right? Oh, Parris, I want to go chairman. I want to do this. I want to do that. But they don't want any type of advice that's going to help them to get there, right? Number 3 is they don't eject the advice, right? And most leaders say you got to be at number 3. I'm going to say you got to be at number 4 in terms of access from me, right? In terms of access from the leaders that I talk about in terms of empowering, right? Number 3, you don't eject the advice, okay? Number 4 is where you actually start listening to the advice, right? So you're not ejecting it. You're not running away from it, right? But you're actually listening to what Charles Dyson is telling you. You're actually listening to what Jaleesa Yancey is telling you. You're actually listening to what your upline and what your sponsor, right? To what your mentor is telling you, right? And this part, again, is for everybody. Because if you want to be a leader, if you want to get to that position, you must first go through these levels of teachable and coachable, right? Number 5, you actually welcome the advice. So you get excited, right? When you get, I know when I get off the phone with my mentor, when he sent me a voice message, when we meet up and he gives me a plate, I get excited. I get fired up. Charles will attest. Me and Charles will be on the phone for hours. I get fired up whenever I get a play, right? Whenever we going over the playbook. And it's like, yo, what's your organization looking like? All right, we got a few hundred here, right? About 1,000 here, about 1,000 there, right? Okay, we're going to do this, this, and that. And you going to score. We're going to do this, this, and that, right? And you going to win. I get fired up because I know all I got to do is do what? Run the play. Simple, right? And I'm going to win. So number 5 is you welcome the advice. You start getting excited when you hear the advice, right? Then number 6 is you actively seek advice. Again, I know where everybody is at when it comes to these levels. And I promise you, you want to win the most, get to the end, right? Get to the end. And it's a process where you might want to grow. Some people on this comment be like, hey, I'm 4. Hey, I'm 5, right? Maybe I'm 3, right? Maybe I'm 1 and 2. Then you know where you got to go, right? But you actively seek advice. You're calling, you're asking your mentor, right? For plays, hey, I'm doing this, that, and the 4th. I got this amount of peaks. My points are looking like this, but X, Y, and Z is not converting for some reason. What can I do better, right? They say, hey, let me see your call log. Hey, here it is. Hey, let me see your messages. Hey, here it is. Hey, let me see your calendar. Hey, here it is, right? Okay, cool. You can fill in this gap. You can do this, that, and the 4th, right? Awesome, right? They stay excited, right? Number 7, they do what? They follow the advice that was given. Critical. This is second to last step. They actually follow the advice that was given. Listen, it's stages to being teachable and coachable. It's stages, right? They actually follow the advice that was given. Charles says, hey, do this tonight. It's done. It's no, well, it's done. It's done. When I'm giving an instruction, bar a family emergency, and even that hasn't even stopped me from running the play. I'm just being honest. I'm just being completely honest, right? I'm just being completely honest. My desire to be free financially outweighs any excuse I can give, outweighs anything I got. I mean, it's that simple for me, right? And then last, number 8 is I honor the people who give the advice. That's good. I don't need no seasoning. I honor the people who give the advice. Okay? They can just switch to the card. Drop a money emoji for me in the chat if you can still hear me, right? I honor the people who give the advice. That's number 8, right? And listen, everybody is not going to start off at an 8. Everybody's not going to be an 8. Everybody's not going to be a 7. But if you want to win this thing, get to 7 and 8, right? Get to 7 and 8, right? I'd encourage you to even contact your sponsor, right? If they're on this call, right? If they're not on this call, you can contact whoever. You can contact me. I would strongly encourage you to contact your sponsor, your upline, your mentor. If they're on this call, and ask them, yo, what level am I at? What can I do to get to the next level? Simple. I do that all the time, right? I do that all the time. All the time. You can never be too big to grow, right? The next G is what? You got to be genuine. You got to be authentic, right? You can't try to be something that you're not, because what? God can't bless who you pretend to be. He's only going to bless who you are. Simple. He can't bless who you pretend to be. He's only going to bless who you are, right? You got to be mature. What is maturity, right? It's an advanced self or an advanced stage, right, of mental development. So what comes with maturity? Patience. Patience, right? You're not crying because you jumped in a trade too early, because you over leveraged. It's discipline, right? They're dependable, right? Maturity comes what? Integrity. What are you doing when you're not around the chairman? How is your activity? How are your actions? How are you talking to your team when Charles isn't on the call? How are you talking to the team when your upline sponsor is not on the call, right? Are you cursing them out? Are you getting flustered, right? Maturity, when you become mature, you don't really get too flustered, right? You don't really get too flustered. It may have been a point in time. I can't even remember time I really got that flustered when somebody left the organization. That's maturity, right? And that probably came from seeing people leave whatever organization I was doing back in the past, right? But you got to grow up. You got to be mature. You got to have discipline. You got to develop as a person, right? But you got to be genuine. That's one of the biggest things, right? Next, giftedness, right? Everybody on this call is a gift, but everybody on this call has a gift. So as a leader, you got to be able to spot the gifts of the people on your team. You got to be able to spot the gifts of the people in your organization, right? And people that are on this call, you got to be able to identify, what am I good at? What am I strong at? That's going to be critical, right? Because we're looking for people who we can empower, those who have gifts, those who are working in them gifts, those who are open, right? Those who are open to developing and strengthening those gifts, right? This next one is very critical. This next one is honestly probably my favorite of the G's, and it's goals. Who am I empowering? People with goals. People who are goal-oriented, right? Who want to grow. Simple. People who want to be better. People who say, Parris, you know what? I want to get here. I'm currently right here right now. I want to get right here. I want to keep going up the ladder. I want to make more money. I want to grow my organization. I want to grow my personal development. I want to grow in spirituality. I want to grow in all these things. I want to be growing. The only reason I've gotten to where I'm at, right, in my business and my income is because I was willing to grow. I never miss an opportunity to grow. Oh, wow. My mentors, right, they having a call. I'm on. I'm there. Oh, y'all in Miami? If it's open, I'm there. Oh, you in Cali? If your event is open, I'm there. Bro, Parris, book a flight to Texas. Book a flight to Vegas. I'm there. I'm not missing an opportunity to grow. And when I'm talking to them, I'm always talking about my goals. Right, yo, my goal is to create 50 chairmen. Right? My goal is to help 50 people. Hit the 6-figure rank. How can I do that? Impact 25,000 lives. How can I do that? Right? I've seen you on your calls with your 2, 3, 4, 500 platinum 1000s. What do I need to do to get to that level? Right? That's my goal. Right, Parris, let me see your list of your 500 goals. What's this? This is my chairman playbook right here. Right? Let me find it. Right? Let me find it. I told all my leaders, right? Depending on who they were, some I said write 100, right? Some did, some didn't. It's cool. We all got growing to do. Right? Dang, let me find these goals. Let me find these goals. They say, Parris, let me see your goals. Bet, say less. Say less. It's a bunch of pages, but this is one of them, right? At the top, what it say? 500 goals, right? And we got what? Goals on goals on goals on goals, right? Eliminate any ounce of procrastination in my body, right? Right? What else? Oh, this is good. I ain't read this in a minute. Yes, sir. Right? What else we got in this thing? Well, let me find something good, right? Within the next 35 6-figure earners, right? Clear every ounce of debt for my parents, right? Have leaders in America, Asia, Australia, Europe, Latin America, right? What else? One of my goals become the one of the biggest success stories in the Proctor Gallagher Institute, right? Shout out to my mentors, Bob Proctor, right? And my guy Matt Barehu, right? Those are my coaches in Proctor Gallagher. I'm serious about this thing. So when I talk about what it takes to get to the next level, when I talk about what it takes to win, why is growth so important? Why are we looking for people who can grow? Why? Because we know they're going somewhere. Whenever my mentors, whenever the people who are leading me, whenever they talk to me, they know I'm going somewhere, right? They know I'm only focused on growth, nothing else, right? What's next? You got to have grit. Grit. You got to be courageous, right? Courageous. What is courage, right? Being able to do something and stand up for something that you're fearful of, but still having the courage to do it. You got to have that grit. I don't care what it looked like. I'm not stopping, right? You got to have that grit to look at the back office, to look at that blown trade account and say, I'm going to trade again. $100,000 ain't hit yet. The goal ain't I will until, right? Not while it looks good, not while it feels good, not while I'm happy, not while I'm confident, right? Not while I'm in the best mood. I will until, and you have to have that grit to win. So when I'm looking at the people I'm going to empower, I'm looking at those who have the grit, right? I'm looking at those who say, Parris, you know what? I'm going to win, even if they have low moments, okay? Understand that. You got people on your team who may have low moments, but as a leader, as an empowerer, what are you doing? You're seeing further, right? You're seeing further than them. You're seeing more than them, and you're seeing before them, right? So if I notice that you have some grit, even when you hit your low point, I'm going to still build you. As long as you have goals, as long as you're at least 3 or 4 of the stages of teachable and coachable, right? As long as you're genuine, I'm going to keep working with you because my goal is to empower you. My goal is to see you win, right? Because until you empower other people to win, your organization is not going to grow. It's very simple. Until you empower leaders, you're going to have a group of followers. Parris, my organization ain't grown since who knows when. Well, look, do you have a group of followers? Name 1 leader, name 2, name 3, name 4, name 5 leaders, right? My goal is leadership. I'm always talking to my leaders like, yo, we're going to get some calls set up. And then we get them set up that week. I'm not waiting nor playing with it, right? 24 hours, 48 hours, we're setting up a call so they can start developing their leadership form in some shape, form, or fashion, right? It's a leader that I see maybe going astray. They may not have all the confidence. Hey, right? How about you do this testimonial for me tonight, right? How about you do a testimonial on the call tonight? I think it'd be good for your organization to see your face and hear your testimony. Sure, no problem, right? Why? So they can continue being seen, so that I can still empower them, right? Because you can't expect everybody to show the plan 4, 6, 7 times a week if they're not empowered to believe in themselves. Listen, this is a simple game, and once you learn the rules of the game, right? Once you learn the rules of the game, you'll win in explosive fashion. Next. Right? Last but not least, they got to be growing. Right? They have to be growing. A few leaders are going to give you a greater return than a lot of followers. Are they growing? Are they going to the events? Are they buying the books? If I see somebody with the book of the month, I know they're trying to grow. Simple. If you don't have a book of the month yet, you need to buy it. You want to be a leader, you got to buy it. This stuff is not like I'm telling you what I've done to win. Right? I can only suggest what I've done to win. I had somebody mess me and they were like, yo, you think this, that, and the fourth will work? Honestly, I'm only telling you what I've done. I can only tell you the plays that I've ran. I can only tell you the plays that are given to me. Right? If you want to go try something else, awesome. If it doesn't work, hey, you got to be willing. You got to be mature enough to accept that. Right? If you don't want to look at IM Academy and you want to trade, right? You got to be mature enough to accept what happens, right? Whether it's a blown account or a good account, hey, that's on you. But you got to be willing to accept that. You got to be willing to grow, though. I'm looking for people who are always willing to grow. Parris, how can I learn more? How can I do more? What can I do to be better? What can I do to be bigger? What can I do to have more success than ever before? These are the things that are going to allow you to take this thing to the next level, right? So we're going to run it back from the top, man. Drop value from me in the Discord. If you call value on a day's call, we went over a lot of stuff, and I want to make sure that everybody has every single tip that we went over, right? I want to make sure that everybody has every single tip that we went over, because today we talked about what? We talked about empowering people, right? And I went over the 4 reasons why people don't empower people, right? The 4 reasons why people don't empower people, right? And number 1 is because they lack confidence in who they are empowering, right? Number 2, they feel like they can do it the best. Number 3, they feel like they have nobody that they can actually empower, right? Number 4, they're ignorant to the fact that that's what we're in the business to do, right? That's what we're in the business to do. And then when I go over next, I went over, okay, right? What's going to put you in position to actually empower people? So number 1 was respect, okay? Respect is going to build credibility. Until you have the credibility, right? Results build credibility, excuse me. Until you have the credibility, you can't have the respect in your business. And you have to have the respect to go ahead and earn the influence, but you have to have results, right? Results are what? You've achieved success. Therefore, you can earn your influence. I grew my ranks in internet marketing world because of the results that I had, right? Because of the results that I had. Because I went from 200 a week to 7,000, 8,000 a week, right? I created results. I grew the influence, right? A lot of people say, Parris, right? You came into IM Mastery Academy, IML at the time, with no serious network marketing experience. How did that happen? Because I was able to earn the respect of people off of the results that I had achieved, right? I need everybody to understand that. I came into the industry without, every majority people who started with me, all of them had more tenure in this industry than me, right? A lot of people I learned from and I'm still learning from, right? But before I joined, I was very intentional on getting results. As I got results, what happened? I was able to earn the respect. I talked about a mentor of mine, 7-figure mentor back in the day, now multiple 8-figure mentor, who I still talked to him like a day or so ago. I talked about the information he told me to help me change my life, right? I took what he told me, catch this, I took what he told me, applied it changed my life, got the respect of a lot of people in a lot of industries. As a result, he joined me in this business, right? And one of my chairman organizations are under him. I need y'all to follow me. How did that even happen? All because I was able to earn his respect. How did I get that respect? Because I got results. It's simple. It's very simple. Now, one of the people that I've learned from is in my very own organization, all because I earned his respect, all because I got the results, right? Number 2, the relationships. Number 3, you got to create an environment of empowerment, right? That embraces potential, right? That embraces potential, right? And then who do we empower? Who do we focus on, right? Number 1, somebody that's grounded, somebody that's has humility, somebody that's teachable and coachable, right? Somebody that's genuine, somebody that's gone through the stages of teachable and coachability, right? They're at level 3 or 4, right? They're welcoming advice. They're listening to advice. They're getting excited, right? They're seeking advice, right? They're applying the advice, right? And then they're honoring the voice that actually is giving the advice, right? They have goals, right? They have grit, right? They're growing, right? All this stuff is very critical. Listen, if you want to win, you got to have all of these components, right? All of these components, they're gifted, right? They're gifted. And when I look at leadership in general, right, it is very important to master this thing. As you're training your team, as you're growing as a leader, it will behoove you to study belief, to study the components of leadership, right? The John Maxwell's of the world, the laws of leadership, because this is going to be what keeps the train in your organization running, right? This is going to be what allows you to win very big. Listen, anything I've done, you all can do, right? Just as good, if not in a greater capacity. And I strongly believe that. I strongly believe that. It's a few things that you really got to master. There's a few things that I focus day and night on actually mastering, but you can do the same thing, right? 2021 is going to be a big year for you, for everybody on this call. I'm so happy and grateful now. One of the affirmations I hear my brother Charles say is something that I'm using, right? Currently, right? I told him this morning, yo, that was genius, right? Today was the best day of my life financially. 2021 was the best year of my life financially, right? I believe this next 90 days is going to be the best 90-day stretch of everybody on this call's life financially. Project 25K, right? Whatever your goal is, whether you're trying to impact 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20,000 people, that can all happen, but you got to master these things. If you're not close to your sponsor, get close to them. If you need, if you're running the play, doing the things that you need to, your sponsor for whatever reason is not around, right? And your upline sponsor is another chairman, contact them or contact me. We're going to win big over the next 90 days, and you can win big as well. So that is the training for today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm super excited. I'm super fired up. Let's get in the habit of empowering leaders. Let's get in the habit of mastering everything that we went over in Skills Camp tonight. We got another training, or we got an opportunity call, at 8 p.m. You want to make sure that you're in position to win big. You want to make sure you're in position to grow. You want to make sure you're in position to be able to empower others, so you can go ahead and have longevity in your organization, longevity in your residuals, longevity in the money flowing into your bank account effortlessly each and every single week throughout the rest of the year. I'm super excited. I know this Bitcoin about to hit the account shortly. I'm just fired up, ladies and gentlemen. I want that for each and every single last one of you all. I want everybody on this call getting the bonuses that the chairman get, right? Every single month. That can be your portion. You got to believe so, and you got to work for it. So Parris Simmons checking out, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you on top of the moon, because the sky is never the limit. Love y'all. Have a blessed night. And let's make sure we pack out this call tonight. You want to win big? Get 2 to 3 people on this call. 2 to 3 recruitable prospects on this call tonight, 8 p.m., 50travelpreneurs.com. I will see y'all on the 8 p.m. op call.